Um, hey guys, so I'm going to be taking you through um, giving you a demo of my project. I'm actually starting the server, so by the time I'm up or I'm done with intro, and this will have started. So I'm actually building this leveraging TypeScript as a programming language. I'm also leveraging the Nest.js framework. I'm using Postgres SQL as my database. Also leveraging Redis. I've actually started the server here. As you can see, it's active and it's running. Um, I also um, yeah, I also implemented a couple interesting features, right? And what I will be showing you right now is operations, create um, on the database, right? And I will be querying the database to return what is on the table, right? And so the server has started actually. If you check here, don't mind this SQL statement. So you can see here that the application is running and Swagger documentation is available at this address. Um, we have the health check is complete also. And so I'll be going straight to Swagger to make certain requests. Um, I'm going to make a new request now, and what I'll be doing is I'm going to be creating a new business uh, using this route, right? I'm going to change this here. Sorry about that. So um, I'm going to be using enterprise. Uh, Let me see. ENTR, PRISE. Right? Okay, so this is good. This is what the request body should look like, right? Though they are optional parameters, but we'll stick with this. I'm going to execute this, and I should get a 201 server response that tells me that this operation was successful. And so there's an API key attached to this response body, which is unique to this particular business. And so I will query the database right now to get a list of business. Actually, a business that registers on the platform is given admin privilege. Though there are a couple checks that are supposed to be made, but that's how it's set up right now. And so I'm going to query for. So basically, what we are trying to do now is we are trying to look at the business table, right? And so we are going to be selecting the ID name, email is active, created at, updated at from the business table. All right, and as you can see that Paylog has this, and it has an ID of 16. The email address is there. The Boolean value for true is also present, right? You can see that this was created at this time and updated at this time. So I'm also going to look at the users table to see, and we can see that the username is here as admin Paylog Enterprise 16, and we are going to also see that Paylog Enterprise Gmail is also here. Um, we have a business ID of this, which is tied to this particular table here. And we give it a role of admin, and you can see that the email isn't verified, and that's why you can see the false boolean value. All right. And very interesting feature I'm going to show you right now is I actually did work on the escrow endpoint. I'm actually using this because I'm finding it difficult using Swagger right now. But this is a typical REST file. VS Code helps us to make this request on localhost. Um, so I'll just change a few things on this transaction object. Let's remove the token number, give it a 7. I'm also going to change the um, reference ID to 8. As you can see, we have a sender ID of 13, a receiver ID of 9. Um, the API key is passed into the header, same with the business ID. Um, and so I will just make this change right now. All right. What else? What else is here? Let's give the other ID 7. All right. Mm, just make sure that we have unique values here. I'm actually doing this using the payment gateway Stripe, and so I'm going to hit the send request, and I'm supposed to have a 201, which means that this particular um, operation did go through actually. If you look at the server logs, don't mind, this is actually a metrics error based on we have a label that um, and Prometheus is very strict with this. So once an email a label is initiated on initially, if you are not using that same label in the other methods, it throws an error. And these are the logs, right? Like I said, um, I'll take you to the Stripe dashboard right now to see that the transaction actually did log on the dashboard on Stripe. Um, just give this a minute to load up. Yeah, just still a couple fixes to make for, as you can see right now, we are actually um, making, you know, we are actually making requests and response from our server. And yes, so you can see that this is 559, though I'm having 701 here. This is actually 659. Um, yeah, so a payment method wasn't passed in the request body, right? So Stripe did not treat that as a complete transaction. Um, but you can see that everything that we passed um, everything that we passed in our transaction object was actually received by Stripe with this response to 200, which tells us that okay, good, this was actually, a real request. And so that's it. Still a couple more changes to make here, but I'm glad to show you the progress made so far. So a business can actually register on the platform, and they can actually make an escrow transaction, right? And so with an escrow transaction, you can have a sender send money to the receiver with a condition, and then there is a dispute resolution statement. Um, and there's an expiration actually for this particular transaction, and so if there's no dispute or anything, the money is actually being sent to the receiver. But the money is held by Stripe, or is meant to be held by Stripe. So that's just the idea, right? Like I said, still a couple of things to make, still a couple of improvements to make, but this is just to tell you that data is actually being stored on the Postgres SQL database, and you can actually see that data when you query the database. Thank you.